Greetings YouTube, Greek here with a new video. I know it's been a while and I'm deciding to switch things up today. We're going to have a blast from the past, and today I'm going to be reviewing my favorite Pokemon cards from the original base set. Let's get into it. First, I want to give some trainer cards some loves. Yes, when everyone thinks about the TCG, no one thinks about trainer cards. You know, I know when I was young, I didn't care for them. All I cared about was getting those hollows and collecting all the coolest Pokemon cards I could. But the first one on my list, now revisiting the base set, is Imposter Oak. This card is actually really cool. It's pretty much just the flip side of Professor Oak. And I was hoping this guy, I feel like this card is some lost potential. Like, wouldn't you have loved to have seen in the Pokemon anime an Imposter Oak? And another training card I like is Gust of Wind. Now, I love Weedle, and he's getting blown away in this little pick. All these years, I didn't know that was like his eye. Like that little white piece over there, that's his eye, and makes the card a lot more hilarious. And this card is actually very useful in the metagame. And that's why I wanted to bring up these trainer cards, because they were actually like the staple of the metagame. They were so overpowered in the original base sets. So I'm glad to give these two cards some shine. Now the next card on my list is Porygon. Yeah, I said Porygon. It's not the best card, but Porygon I think is one of the most coolest and underrated Pokemon maybe ever. Nah, I'm not gonna say ever. Top 5 though. It's a shame though, because it never really got its shine in the anime due to its episode giving people seizures. Not a lot of people have seen that episode. It doesn't come in the collector sets or anything like that. But nonetheless, I love this card's art for multiple reasons. It just looks like the times of the late 90s and early 2000s with this kind of computer feel. Like this card was made on just like the most basic animation they had at the time, and they probably thought it looked really cool, but it kind of hasn't aged well. Really, actually, a really cool design. It takes me back to a simpler time. Next card is going to be Eradicate. Now, this card does have a small niche in standard set, being paired with Jinx and Mr. Mime in Medicate decks. Actually built one a couple weeks ago. But anywho, I think this art is great. It just makes Eradicate look really menacing. And it's just got that classic Pokemon art style that you look back and you're like, man, they don't make it like this anymore, you know. So, but this card is actually pretty useful. It has Super Fang that does half your opponent's HP, which is pretty cool, especially since no other card has a move like this, doing half to its opponents. And especially, it could be a pretty good wall breaker card going against Chansey, or let's say opponent has a Kangaskhan. Or, even let's say that they get that Charizard out, they think they're acting big. Nah, we're going to cut it down to size. So, Eradicate definitely is going to make my list. This next card I'm putting on my list is Haunter. This artwork is kind of in the same vein as Porygon. Looks like this computer animated 3D that probably looked really great at the time. I mean, it did look great at the time. And it's actually, honestly, it's aged better than the Porygon card. And this card just makes Haunter look extremely ghostly. This card is kind of a glass cannon with only 50 HP, but has an extremely powerful move with Dream Eater that deals 50 damage if the defending Pokemon is asleep. Now, I've seen decks that kind of use Rocket's Drowsy to put the opponent to sleep, used Haunter as kind of just this attacking force, so I've actually built the deck, and I've used it a couple of times, and I really enjoy it. So that's another reason why I put Haunter on this list. Just cool art, and you can make a little niche deck out of it as well. Next on my list is Onix. Onix is one of my favorite Pokemon. It was the bane of my existence as a kid in Pokemon Yellow, trying to beat it with Pikachu. And it was a pretty beefy card in base set with 90 HP. And as a good stall attack with Harden that can help set up your deck if you got kind of a slow rolling deck. I love the art of this card. It's like a tip of an iceberg. You see that there is a boulder in the middle of the desert, but underneath is this giant rock snake Pokemon. It's clever and all around a very solid training card. The first holographic on my list is going to be Machamp. Machamp made this list because it was the first holographic that I can remember owning. I remember thinking it was a super rare card because it was first edition. This card was included in the 2-player starter set, so it's safe to assume that this was a lot of people's first holo and the first card that seemed super powerful when they got it. The next card on my list is Nidorino, another Pokemon that I think is underrated. Its card art is awesome. It looks like a painting. I mean, you have like this desert background and this super intimidating Nidorino pointing its horn at you. Plus, it had a move that did 50 damage in Horn Drill, which made me think that this card was super powerful at the time. Coming up, the second to last, the first loser, Beedrill. I love Beedrill. It's one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. I don't know why I got just an affinity for Pokemon that aren't very viable, but hey, I love Beedrill. He's just super cool. I love Pokemon. And this card is really cool. 80 HP, has Twin Needle. It's just, this card art is awesome. It looks like it's in the jungle just waiting to buzz around and just sting somebody. I love this card, and that's all I can say about it. I just love it. Now, number 1 on my list. I'll let you guys take a guess, okay? All right, if you guessed Charizard, you would be correct. I mean, is there a TCG list without base set Charizard in it? Is it even a list? Look at it. Just look at it, SpongeBob. This is like the most well-known card in Pokemon. It just goes for a lot of money. It looks amazing. I mean, the flames, the attack that does 100 damage, having 120 HP. This is every kid's prized possession in their trading card collection. If you went to go trade a card, you say, hey, how much for that Charizard? They close their book and say, nah, we're done. I'm out. Shark Tank. I want to thank you guys for clicking onto this video. And if you want me to do some more lists of different old school Pokemon sets, let me know. I have a big collection and I wouldn't mind doing this. It's been fun just kind of going back and looking at my cards and seeing, just go down memory lane. So subscribe, like, comment below what your favorite cards are from the base set. I'd love to hear it. So until next time, friends, have a good one.